So Robbie, known you for about 10 years now.
Yeah, thereabouts.
When I met you, you're a party hard, smoking, drinking kind of guy.
Yeah.
Kiwi average bloke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you seem to have changed a bit. What's led you to that?
Well, basically, it's a bit of a story, really. I guess you're right. I'm a carpenter by trade, so I work hard. Work with my hands, and it's a physical job. Enjoyed working hard and having a beer. I've played rugby for 40 years. I did most of the sort of things that most Kiwi guys get up to, fishing and, camping and gardening and doing stuff around home, pretty handy, of course, being a carpenter. The average sort of stuff, drinking and stuff like that. I used to enjoy that, that was a pretty high priority in my life, I guess,
And I've seen a bit of a change in you in the last few years, and what would you say that was from?
Well, you have a bit to do with that. You might remember, reading to me bits in the Bible.
Yes.
And I'd be drinking a beer and listening to these most wonderful stories, and I'd encourage you to tell me these stories. And it kind of set a seed in me. I found those stories to be quite, they're quite different. They're sort of not sort of something that you sort of see on the main sort of, So I enjoyed that, and not that I took much notice of it as far as my walk in life went. I was just going from one, he's stronger and stronger into, like drinking more and partying and not really even thinking too much about, where it was leading me, to be honest. I remember, just, all weekend, just, drinking and enjoying life and not really, thinking about it. The motto was, work hard, play hard, whether we were fishing or whatever we were doing, there was always drugs and alcohol involved. It was starting to, pretty much be quite a high priority in my life, to be honest. That and poor attitude to the opposite sex too, because I was a single guy, and it wasn't. It was. It was.
You're a bit of a crazy boy.
Party lifestyle, crazy boy. Yeah, yeah, I could say that.
And then something big happened to you that stopped you in your tracks.
Yeah.
A lot of reflection happened.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Right. So been slow to learn about taking on any of the messages that I heard about from you concerning Christ. You'd changed your life a lot, and I admired that. I thought, man, that's you kind of changed sort of overnight too. You were pretty. It was like, wow, and I liked that about you. I thought that was quite, I thought that was pretty cool, and it seemed really quite powerful to me because, so I thought, anyway, I had this heart attack, and that kind of, that really put a downer on things as far as partying and stuff went, and so, I just, it really stopped me in my tracks. So I had a bit of time to think about things, and I'm really fortunate I'm still here, to be honest. But anyway, so I got to thinking, I had in the hospital bed, I remember something like about, 40 tiles on ceiling. You know, I'd counted and I couldn't sleep that night, and I just sort of, for the first time in my life, thought about the mortality. You know, I might not have been here this afternoon, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was flooded with a lot of different things that came into my mind, but there was a piece that I had throughout the whole heart attack and throughout the whole week that I was there, that I kind of just felt there was, I don't know, it was hard for me to explain, but I just had this feeling that everything was going to be okay. And I had like the feeling of like ultimate protection. It's most strange.
I remember that was probably the first time that I actually prayed properly, and I remember you saying, because I prayed for your heart to be healed, and I remember you saying that the nurse got you up early that next morning to do your check, and she said that there was no signs that you'd had a heart attack.
She did. You know, I was in a brand new ward in the North Shore Hospital, and she comes in at 5 in the morning, and she's tapping on you know, I'm all wired up, you know, and she comes in, she says, "Oh, I might as well do your observations now while you're still awake." I didn't sleep a wink that night, you know. Things were going over in my mind, you know, and you know, and where's this peace coming from and all this, and then, you know, this is what I'm saying, you know, like I just, you know. Right from the word go, the ambulance was 2 minutes away when it picked me up.
Yeah.
I had the heart attack at 11:15, and by 10 to 1 I was being wheeled out of the procedure room, you know, with a bunch of stents chucked in my heart, and I was like, "Oh, do I go home now?" You know, but, you know, so at 5 o'clock in the morning I hadn't slept a wink, and she come in and she says to me, "Oh, do you mind if I do your obs?" I says, no problem at all, you know. And so, you know, she basically checks your blood pressure, and there's certain levels in your system that sort of, you know, show that, you know, your heart's had a bit of a pounding. And she starts tapping this machine and going, "Oh, what's going on?" And yeah, sure enough. So she says, "I'll do it the old-fashioned way." She did it that, and I said, "Oh, what's the problem?" She says, "Well, this machine, it's brand new." She says, "This machine tells me that it looks like you've never had a heart attack."
Praise the Lord.
So, you know, this is what I'm saying, you know. So, you know, once
that was more evidence for me too.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So there was this is how the strength of Christ sort of just, you know, sort of just gently persuaded me, you know. We're not cracking a nut with a sledgehammer. It was just, you know, and I could see it so clearly. So yeah, from that, you know, from that, you know, I had to change my life. There was a lifestyle change, you know, drinking and no drug taking, and eating, you know, probably better meals and stuff like that. And so there was a change in my life, and you know, with that change came a change of, you know, the way I look at the world, you know, and I took that Bible. I'm pretty sure you brought it into hospital for me, and I had that Bible, and I read that Bible, and I've continued to read the Bible, you know, every day. I just have it. To me, it's like having breakfast. It's you know, it's I make time every day for it. You know, we make time for a lot of things in life that we think we don't have time for, but you know,
it truly is your bread.
Yeah, it is, man. I just wouldn't like, you know, to think, you know, you know, I came out of hospital. I was still a little bit, you know, hard to sort of, you know, just stop everything. You know, it didn't just stop all of a sudden, but you know, slowly but surely, I you know, started, you know, understanding what I was doing to my body, and it came to a point where I thought to myself, I'm going to make a commitment to Christ. I'm going to invite Christ into my life, and you know, I truly believe that with the benefits that I'd had, you know, the small, you know, miracles that had happened in my life, that we're dealing with a living God, and I decided to accept Christ, and yeah, I I just searched, you had a lovely pastor that we have now, and he came and knocked on your door, and you told me about this guy, and we learn a lot. We learn a lot together, and I remember saying to you, well, I don't need to go to church.
Yes. I remember saying that myself.
Yeah, and I said, it's we'll go once a month or something like that, and it's important. Well, I look at what we get in church, and since you took me along, and we went, and just the exact same sort of thing. A bunch of like-minded people who have had similar experiences, and it sort of just strengthens where we've come from. It wasn't long, maybe a year after I'd been attending church, that I was baptised, and on the 25th of July we were both baptised the same day. It was a wonderful day. It's our new birthday. From that day onwards, I can truly say I have never had an appetite for any kind of drugs or alcohol.
We've seen the changes in you.
Yeah, I still have errors and trials and tribulations. I'm a builder, so when I hit my thumb, I don't always say the right word, and I don't mean taking the Lord's name in vain, but I don't have half of that anymore, what I once had,
You were a bit of a sailor once.
Yeah. Well, that's right. So, I'm just so truly thankful, and the power that God gives us. I had no idea. I had no idea what He gives us. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just blessing after blessing now.